世界
銀世界
Hello guys, welcome back to my reaction channel. Today we're going to react to One Piece episode 352. Now guys, in the last episode a lot happened, but Robin and Frankie are here to save the day, and they know Brook's secret about the salt and how to decimate these ghosts and zombies and get their souls back to Gecko Moria. Also, Luffy lost his shadow, and now the shadow is residing in an ancient giant who can't be stopped. So this is very, very confusing. That's the word. But that being said, I ain't gonna applaud this that much. If you enjoy my reactions, feel free to share, subscribe, like, leave a comment, enjoy the Patreon, support your boy, Discord, all that. Let's go. Conviction strong enough. Protects his afro? What? What are you talking about? Oh, is he gonna fight his samurai self? Yeah, he kicked him through the window.
元へ戻ってくるまでは何度だろうとやってきますよ。私の名を知らないんですか。剣豪龍馬といえば誰もが身をすくめるほどの。黙れ！お前は私の影だ。
ナミ、大丈夫かな。
So they're going towards Luffy.
命を狙われたわけじゃねえ。出直して必ず助ける。そのためにも急いでサニー号に戻るんだ。そして麦わらたちを目覚めさせ影を奪い返す。
でも島中ゾンビだらけだし。
おめえらも見た通りだ。ところで、さっき上で聞こえた怪物のうなり声みたいなのは一体何？
A giant.
ああ、俺たちはあれを聞いて駆けつけたんだ。あれはルフィの声さ。
You're feeding a zombie, bro. How is a zombie even hungry if you're the undead? Bro, Gecko Moria. This guy's goofy looking.
てめえどういうわけで海賊かくまってたんだ。え？
でもそれはね。
喋んな可愛くね
非常食を用意してたとは。あれでも王女に食わせちゃったら非常食の意味ねえじゃねえか。
えな。全部なくなればいい。
そりゃないぜシンドリーチや。
Yeah, because she then doesn't have need for plates anymore because there's no food. It's gonna be some dumb shit like that. But do you guys agree that Gecko Moria's design looks goofy as hell, bro? He's supposed to be a Shichibukai. Like, Crocodile had a mean mug and a hook, and he was like, you know, menacingly cunning and all that. This guy, Gecko Moria, looks like a clown, bro. Like, I'm trying to see his menacing side, but so far...
ギョロ、ニン、バオ、ホグバックの屋敷へ行って取ってこい。イェイ、ご主人様。ご主人様。早く食わせてやれ。
Yo, he's really gonna eat everything. This was a bad idea.
今度のは結構いけるじゃねえか。
That's a big fish.
これ塩か？バカ！俺の邪魔すんだ。
ちょっと、こっちの方が美味しかった。
そうそう。やだね。俺には夢があるんだ。
To become a pirate king. Nah, Luffy's will is way too strong for this.
ここは狭くてつまんねえな。ちょっと外に出てくる。
He has the same powers? There ain't no way. He's a flexible giant now.
それすげえ。
ちょっと。
Yo.
それやめ！オズが外へ逃げ出した！
Okay, this is different. So he doesn't have Luffy's powers.
またあの時のようにアフロだけはアフロだけはとみっともなく私に命乞いするだけですよ。
バカか、新入りだろ。
魚を塩焼きで、ゾンビの弱点はまさかこれか。
貴様、先日影を取られた骸骨どうやって戻った？
質問に答えなさい。
塩だ。
That's how he figured it out. Yo, that doctor just doesn't know how to lie. That was... I'm not gonna lie, I thought that tree was gonna come to life and scare the shit out of him, but it didn't happen.
の島で何が起きてる？
鼻を玉尻に闇をまとって現れる恐ろしい顔の剣士が自分の影を探し回っています。
So wait, the fact that we found out about the giant not being able to stretch like Luffy, that means this guy being a samurai doesn't necessarily mean that he got it from Brook. He just got the personality from Brook. So this body that his shadow's in is an actual samurai that once lived. Is that, and am I getting this right? So Brook really isn't that skillful with the sword. He really is just a musician, not a samurai, not another samurai for our crew, bro. I think I got that. It just occurred to me. Because this guy keeps saying that he's a famous samurai. And he has a nice katana. Yeah, we need Zoro for this guy.
全くついていけない。秩序は私と同じなのに。
They share the same sword style.
降参しなさい。何十回かかってきても同じです。少しでも早く動きたいならその邪魔そうなアフロきた。アフロを大切にする骸骨などただ滑稽にしか映らないのです。
やめてくれ。アフロだけは。
A sneak attack. Didn't work.
なんと姑息な手を。恥ずかしくないのですか。なんとでも言いなさい。私には負けるわけにはいかない理由があるんですよ。
あんな見苦しさはない。何とでも言いなさい。私はこの5年間で再び来るチャンスのために
5 years.
強くなったのです。
He trained. Interesting. So he actually trained for this encounter, but this samurai still looks like he can whoop his ass.
ドレスを着せて式場に連れてこい。
ただいま。
With pleasure is creepy as hell. My man said with pleasure. I'm gonna strip her with pleasure. Yo, so my man really gonna commence the ceremony while Nami's unconscious? That's some next level creepy. But yo, very, very interesting about Brook and his former self or former shadow. Like, he has the personality of Brook, but he's completely under the influence of Gecko Moria and that doctor this guy Absalon, whatever his name is, that's trying to marry Nami. But the body is a samurai. Somebody who used to be a samurai has an epic sword that can actually whoop some ass. So who the hell is this samurai? There's a lot of questions about these certain characters. Like in this guy Absalon, he also seems very strong. And he can go invisible, so what the hell? What's up with that? Is he even a zombie? I have a lot of questions. But all that being said, looks like my editor has a yap session for us today. He hasn't done one in a long time, so let's hear him out.
Oh, I haven't talked to you for quite a while.
True.
To briefly talk about this episode, man, poor Nami. That's all I gotta say. Poor Nami. I feel so bad. Like, really? She doesn't deserve any of this, but whatever.
Insane.
It doesn't matter because what I'm going to talk about today has nothing to do with the episode itself. Because today, just like I did some episodes ago, I will continue with the manga chapter covers. So to recap a little bit here, because it has been a while, last I did Volume 3 and Volume 4 of the manga, which is Chapter 18 to 35 of the manga. Chapter 35's cover being Buggy rowing away from a bunch of fish. I explained that this got animated in the anime. Well, Chapter 35's cover is just the start of the cover story, however, because next up is Chapter 36 and Chapter 37's cover, which is a continuation from Chapter 35. Here you see all three of them lined up. You notice how if you look at the art for Chapter 35, then 36, and then 37, you see that it's a continuing story, right? In Chapter 35's cover, you see Buggy's rowing away, then in 36, you see that two of his crewmates are up to something, and then Chapter 37, we return to Buggy who's hunting for food because of the fact that he's hungry. The anime animated all of this as well. The whole Buggy story from these chapter covers got animated after Arlong Park, but before Logue Town, where Buggy was small and stuff, if you remember that.
I do remember.
In the manga, the story was told through the cover of the chapters. You see how it's a continuing story with each chapter's cover? So yeah, that's very cool. That's how all the cover stories work, actually, including the Enel story that I'll tell you about. And if you're wondering when I'll get to that, it'll be after I catch up to all the missing chapter covers. So be prepared, because it's going to take over 400 of those chapters. So yeah.
That's crazy.
But anyway,
you don't have to do all
here's
that.
the cover of Manga Volume 5. It finally has Usopp added to the crew, so we're actually at the end of the Syrup Village arc, which is the name of Usopp's village, by the way. Syrup Village, as in like maple syrup. So yeah, the crew is happy, as you can see, and we see Usopp's old crew as well as Kaya in the background. So yeah, that's a cute cover. Yeah. Volume 5 contains chapter 36 to 44, and I already talked about chapter 36 and 37. So now we're moving on to chapter 38, and it's actually a color cover that doesn't continue the Buggy storyline, actually. However, Oda continues the Buggy story in chapter 39's cover. Sometimes Oda takes breaks from the cover story, and chapter 38's cover is exactly just that. As you can see, the crew is in the mountains, Usopp is blowing on a conch, Luffy is yodeling, Zoro is sightseeing, and poor Nami, man, like a goat is eating her maps that she worked hard on. Oh, okay, well, not as bad as the stuff that you're watching right now in this arc. Molestation, forced marriage, perversion all around. She doesn't deserve any of this. But anyway, along with chapter 30...
I don't know, bro. She tried to make Usopp pay for seeing her naked and also some other things, so... Hey, she's not right in the head either. I'm kidding.
Yates cover. One Piece is featured on the cover of the Shonen Jump magazine release of that week, with Luffy smiling up, and you also see Nami and Zoro doing the exact same thing. Oh yeah, and hi there, Gon.
Yeah.
Some pages of chapter 38 are also drawn in color by Oda, so that's pretty neat. Moving on to the covers of chapter 39 and 40, which is a continuation of the Buggy cover story, and I really won't go into detail here because this got animated in the anime, so you saw it a long time ago. Chapter 41's cover is again a color cover featuring Kid Luffy with Shanks and his crew. Nothing special, but it's sweet. One Piece is once again featured on the magazine cover for this week's chapter. That usually happens whenever the chapter's cover artwork is in color, by the way. So usually whenever the cover is in color, One Piece is put on the cover to promote that, right? An interesting little tidbit as well. In this magazine issue, the inside also promotes the One Piece OVA, which is actually the very first anime of One Piece ever. Like before the anime that you're watching now, right? There's actually an OVA that came out, aka original video animation. That's what OVA stands for. I'll tell you about it someday, however. I already have my hands full today, so yeah. Moving on to chapter 42 and 43, it continues the Buggy cover story. This is the part where he tries his best not to be eaten. Then we move on to chapter 44, which is a color cover, and yes, as you can see, it says 45, but that's actually an error in the magazine release. The volume version that came out later, as you can see right here, corrected it to 44, but of course, as I explained like 15 episodes back, the volume version is completely black and white, so yeah. Anyway, in this cover, you see Luffy's munching down on a big apple, Usopp and Zoro are squeezing out the juice to make apple juice, and Nami is drinking that juice, so yeah. This week, One Piece is once again featured on the cover of the magazine, just a Luffy artwork, nothing special at all, as you can see. Chapter 36 to 44 is done, so I'm done with Manga Volume 5, so now you'd think I'd show you Volume 6, but I'll do that after chapter 45, and you'll see why. So chapter 45 is a color cover artwork, and this one is really awesome. The crew is dressed fully in black. One of the rare moments also where Usopp looks cool with a rose in his mouth and holding pistols. Nami is carrying groceries.
Red?
Did they really just get back from shopping wearing these clothes or something? Did they just go grocery shopping looking all stylish?
Possibly.
Also, Luffy's clothes look exactly like Sanji's suit. I mean, Sanji was actually introduced recently when this chapter came out, so maybe them being so stylish here is like a homage to Sanji being that way, perhaps? Maybe. I don't know. I believe this is also the first time we see Nami's upper left arm uncovered, and while there is a tattoo there, it doesn't have the Arlong mark, which... okay, that's kind of odd. It's just a normal skull and crossbones tattoo, seemingly. Maybe Oda didn't think of giving her the Arlong tattoo yet, or maybe it was to prevent spoilers, who knows.
Maybe.
Now, the cover of Volume 6, actually, is the exact same as Chapter 45's cover. Yeah, Oda just reused Chapter 45's cover for Volume 6 for some reason. I guess Oda must have been busy, so couldn't draw other colored artwork. I'm not complaining, though. This art is awesome. I also forgot to mention that Chapter 45's cover actually got animated at the end of the One Piece movie 1 credits, as you can see right here. The cover of chapter 46,
Why do I got a feeling my editor just literally yapping about his personal collection, Brian. This is all his personal collection that he enjoys reading and enjoys sharing it with us. Like, something tells me he has all these manga chapters.
7 to 48 is a continuation of the Buggy story. In these covers, you see Buggy is befriending Gaimon, the guy who was stuck in a treasure chest, if you remember that. And I think you remember this from the anime at this point by now. You know, with how they became friends and stuff. Chapter 49's cover is really cute, actually. It's Nami with this bird and a marine hat on, with Nami smiling real happily, and Luffy's straw hat is behind her on the mailbox. I think this cover might be Arlong Park foreshadowing, because Chapter 49's cliffhanger is Nami actually taking Mary and going to her village right after Mihawk cut Don Creek's ship in half. For this to be the cover art of the chapter is definitely no coincidence, in my opinion. The bird is like her mother, who was a marine, and of course the straw hat being there is incredibly interesting because she didn't wear it at this point yet. So to me, it seems like this cover is hinting at Nami and her eventual connection with the straw hat, as well as her past with her mother, who was a former marine. Chapter 49's cover also got animated at the end of Movie 1's credits, as you can see right here as well.
That's cool.
Moving on, Chapter 50 and 51's cover again continue the Buggy story with his raft getting attacked and getting saved by Alvida. Again, you saw all this in the anime already, nothing much to say. Chapter 52's cover is a double-page color art. It's the Straw Hat crew plus Sanji, who wasn't a member yet, Old Fart Zeph, as well as Don Creek and Mihawk. Not only is the cover of this chapter in color, but Mihawk sparing Zoro with his slash was actually fully drawn in color by Oda. Of course, only the magazine version has it. The volume version, as I've said countless amounts of times at this point, is colorless. Oda has a comment on this artwork in the color walk. He says, "This is the climax during the middle of the story at East Blue. The Krieg pirates attack Restaurant Baratie. Nami suddenly runs away. The greatest swordsman in the world appears, and Zoro challenges him to a duel. One bad thing leads to another." When I was drawing this, I was thinking, it's just like in the real world. So yeah, that's his thought process on this. Chapter 53, 54, and 55's cover are a continuation of the Buggy story. As you can see, these go on for quite a bit. So next I'm going to show you Volume 7's cover, which is the final volume that I'll talk about, containing Chapter 54 to 62. The cover has Sanji and Luffy, because this is of course the Baratie restaurant arc with Luffy eating and stuff, so yeah, that's pretty cool. Chapter 56's cover is in color. It has Sanji riding a bison who is smoking a cigar, who is also carrying Sanji's stock. Luffy is following him, but for some reason he's carrying his own bison instead of riding that bison. That's really weird. The magazine release of Chapter 56 also has a few pages in color by Oda, so yeah, that's looking real good. Chapters 57 to 60 all continue the Buggy story, so yeah, again, those are 4 chapters quickly out of the way, right? Again, nothing new, just the Buggy cover story for those 4 chapters. So just 2 more chapters left to go. Chapter 61's cover is a double-page color spread. I really love this. The crew is working on a farm here. They're harvesting radishes along with some giant squids. Luffy and Usopp are fooling around as usual of them. Zoro has a radish in his mouth, and Nami is just on her own, sleeping with a towel over her shoulder, probably tired after reading that book that she has. Oda has a comment on this artwork in the color walk, with him saying, "Working on a farm seems great. I'm sure it's a difficult job for people who are actually farmers, but what's important is society's image of a farm, laid back and peaceful. Right now, it's 11:47 a.m. It's almost lunch." I think that last part is him talking about what time it is in the artwork. But yeah, man, he really likes the whole farm aesthetic, so that's pretty cool. Of course, as per usual with Oda's colored artwork, if the chapter cover for that week is in color, One Piece usually appears on the magazine cover, and yep, once again that happens on this week's issue, and it's an amazing one. They're so great. I love this. They're just so great. They're all holding their weapons. Zoro one of his swords, Usopp his slingshot, Nami her staff, and Luffy his fists. But they all have different vibes. It's so good, man. Like, Zoro looks ready to cut down people and absolutely wreck them. Usopp looks like he's bragging to someone like, "I, the great Usopp-sama, has 10,000 men with cannons," or some shit. Sorry, I love that. That's so stupid. But anyway, Nami is just so adorable, man. Her vibe is just pure happiness, and she's probably imitating Luffy, who's also stretching his fists, right? The sad part about this is that this released when Nami took Mary and was obviously heading towards her village. But Oda's artwork kept reminding us of how happy and how much of a good time she's having here. Yeah. Luffy's vibe is just, "I'm gonna kick your ass" in a loud way, probably, right? So yeah, that's a very typical Luffy right there. Finally, Chapter 62 is a continuation of the Buggy cover story, and again, nothing much to say here. But yeah, man, I've talked for incredibly long. So sorry for taking up so much of your time, but I really hope you enjoyed it regardless. See ya.
See ya. Thank you. Yeah, I did enjoy it. It was a long time because it was after a long time, so I kind of, right, I'm not used to it anymore. Now all of a sudden 10 minutes yap, right? But it's still enjoyable. I do it because I enjoy it, and also there's definitely some of you that enjoy these extra details and all, right? Because he really knows his stuff when it comes to this sort of stuff, so I appreciate it. Thank you. But yeah, not much to add here. He analyzed that perfectly. He definitely has all the knowledge about One Piece. And yeah, back to the arc, the actual arc. I'm very interested in the samurai in which Brook's shadow is inhabiting, right? That guy, we need a backstory. Who the hell is he? Because he seems like we need Zoro to battle him. He strong as hell for some reason. That being said, I ain't gonna prolong this that much. I really enjoyed this episode. Hope you enjoyed the reaction, and I'll see you in the next one. Stay safe, love you, enjoy, and bye.